Jake, grinning. Zyra, you little shit. You think last week's prank was funny? Just wait. He crouched behind a sleek, alien column, waiting for his moment. Zyra loved pushing his buttons, switching his shower to ice water, messing with the gravity settings in his room, leaving weird alien aphrodisiacs in his food. Now, it was payback time. He'd spent the past hour sneaking through the corridors of the alien palace, dodging guards, and avoiding anything that looked remotely sacred. His plan was simple: sneak into Zyra's room through the back entrance, a phrase he was really regretting thinking about now, jump scare her, and make her scream loud enough to wake the entire compound. The hallway he found himself in had a suspiciously erotic aesthetic: statues of lithe, feminine alien figures, intricate carvings that looked like the aftermath of a wild orgy, and a faint, musky scent in the air. He stopped. Jake, muttering, "This is way too horny for Zyra's room." But the prank was already in motion. He reached the door, big, ornate, way fancier than he remembered Zyra's quarters being, and grinned. "Jake, time to make history." The door hissed open, and he slipped inside. The room was dimly lit, the air thick with an exotic fragrance. The only illumination came from softly glowing symbols across the floor, flowing, hypnotic patterns, shifting in an almost suggestive way. At the center of it all, kneeling, bathed in golden light, was a stunning alien woman. Jake froze. That was not Zyra. She had long, flowing crimson hair, dusky purple skin that shimmered under the soft light, and an intricate robe barely clinging to her toned body. A few beads of sweat clung to her exposed shoulders as she took deep, slow breaths, her hips subtly rocking in place. Jake, whispering, "Oh shit." Something was very wrong. The woman didn't react to his entrance. Her eyes remained closed, her posture completely composed. The glowing symbols intensified beneath her, and Jake swore he felt something pulse through the air, warm, heavy, intoxicating. A sudden realization hit him. This wasn't Zyra's room. This was the Queen's personal chamber. And he'd just entered from behind, right in the middle of a sacred ritual. Jake, internal screaming, "Fuck." His instinct screamed at him to move, to bolt, to pretend he was never here. But before he could so much as breathe, the Queen exhaled deeply, shifting her weight back, closer to him. His heart nearly exploded. "Queen, softly, the stars have blessed me." "Oh. Oh no." "Jake, what the hell does that mean?" His every molecule told him to get the hell out, but he couldn't. The air was different here, thick with something potent. His skin tingled, his thoughts grew fuzzy, his entire body felt off. It was pheromones. His human hormones were completely disrupting the ritual. And he was directly behind the Queen, breathing right into her exposed neck. Jake, whispering, "Zyra, if you can hear me, I swear to every god in this galaxy, help me." A barely contained snicker echoed from somewhere nearby. Zyra was watching. That evil, beautiful little goblin was watching this happen. Jake, muttering, "I'm gonna kill her." Zyra's voice barely held in a laugh. "Zyra, mock serious, oh no, Jake. You should probably stay completely silent. If you make a noise, the Queen might think you're consenting." Jake went rigid. Jake, whispering, horrified, "Consenting to what?" "Zyra, casually mating." Silence. Jake's soul left his body. Queen, breathy, pleased, such strong energy. "I feel you, behind me." Jake stopped breathing. Jake, internal screaming, "Zyra, I will actually murder you." Zyra was dying of laughter in her hiding spot, her shoulders shaking as she watched her dumbass best friend slowly realize exactly how deep he'd just walked into this mess. The Queen tilted her head slightly, exposing more of her neck, her breathing slow, deep, expectant. Jake's fight-or-flight instinct was in overdrive. Jake, whispering, if I move, she'll notice me. If I breathe too hard, she'll notice me. If I say something. Queen, whispering, you accept? Jake, internally, fuck. Zyra, from her spot, wheezed. Jake wanted to punch her in her stupid, beautiful alien face. The Queen leaned back just slightly, brushing against Jake's very stiff, very frozen form. The warmth of her skin pressed against his chest. Jake, whispering, nope. His entire body rebelled against existence. Queen, softly, eyes still closed, you are silent. That is good. Oh fuck no. Zyra lost it. She slammed a fist against her mouth, shaking violently from laughter. She was crying. This was the greatest thing she'd ever seen. Jake, the dumbass, had accidentally walked into a royal mating ritual, and the Queen now thought he was her mate. Jake's brain crashed. His soul vacated the premises. Jake, internal screaming, I am going to destroy Zyra. He was now officially trapped. One wrong move. One sound. And this became real. Zyra wiped tears from her eyes, barely keeping it together. Zyra, mocking whisper, oh no, Jake. Whatever will you do? Jake gritted his teeth. Jake, you better pray to every god in existence, Zyra. Zyra, why? You're the one about to get fucked. Jake's life flashed before his eyes. And the Queen sighed in deep, satisfied relief, as if she was ready to begin. To be continued. Jake didn't breathe. He didn't blink. He was frozen in place, every muscle in his body locked in sheer, unfiltered panic. The Queen's back was still pressed against him, her warm, soft skin radiating heat through his clothes. She was completely at ease, unaware, or worse, entirely aware, of the absolute catastrophe unfolding. Zyra was dying in the corner, barely suppressing her laughter, but Jake couldn't even risk glancing at her, lest he draw the Queen's attention. The Queen exhaled slowly, deeply, sensually. Queen, you are very strong. Jake clenched every single life-giving muscle he had. Jake, internal screaming, do not react. Do not react. Queen, silent. Respectful. A worthy partner. Jake was about to actually die. She tilted her head back just slightly, her long, soft red hair brushing against his neck. He felt everything. Jake, internally, Zyra, if I survive this, I am going to haunt you. The Queen shifted, her back pressing more firmly into him, her body soft, warm, and dangerously close to confirming something Jake did not want to confirm. Queen, softly, it is fate. Jake, fate can suck my... Zyra's silent wheezing reached a critical level. Jake saw movement from the side. Zyra was recording this. That blue-skinned menace was getting footage of his impending doom. Jake, internally, I am going to ruin her entire bloodline. The Queen raised her arm slightly, hands gliding along her own toned stomach, a gesture that was way too intimate for Jake's rapidly deteriorating sanity. Queen, I can feel your presence. So steady, so patient. Jake, I am neither of those things. His brain was breaking apart at the seams. She sighed again, shifting just enough for her backside to grind against his waist. Jake, internally, I am leaving my body. This was not happening. This was an illusion. This was a nightmare Zyra orchestrated while high on alien mushrooms. Then, Queen, we begin. Jake, internally, fucking no. A soft, pulsing hum filled the air. The symbols around them glowed brighter, the room's temperature rising. The Queen leaned forward just slightly, adjusting her position, and Jake's entire spine locked up. He was going to die. Not because of alien assassination squads or deadly space battles. No. His own dumbassery was going to get him, mated to an alien monarch. Zyra, meanwhile, was having the time of her life. She had tears in her eyes, her entire body shaking. This was gold. This was historical. Jake's suffering was her new favorite entertainment. Queen, whispering, "It is time." The air shifted. Jake's soul attempted to eject itself from his body. He needed a plan. Now. He could sprint for the door. Risky. The guards might catch him before he could explain why he had been inside the Queen's private chamber. He could whisper to Zaira and beg for mercy. Terrible idea. She'd never let this go. He could somehow play along and sneak away before things went too far. Jake, internally, none of these options are good. The Queen raised her arms gracefully, her robe sliding off her shoulders, exposing more of her smooth, purple skin. Jake's brain completely malfunctioned. Jake, internally, "I am ascending." Her voice lowered to an intimate whisper. "Queen, you are ready." Jake, "I am not ready." Zaira was pounding the ground with her fist, trying not to laugh. Jake was on the verge of a full breakdown. Then, bang! The doors slammed open. A procession of royal attendants entered, holding ceremonial robes, trays of exotic fruits, and some sort of alien ceremonial oil. Jake's heart imploded. The attendants stopped. Their eyes locked onto Jake. A human male, standing directly behind their queen, during a sacred ritual. In absolute silence. As if he had accepted his role. Jake, internally, "Oh no!" Zaira? Fucking gone. She collapsed, rolling on the floor in a fit of pure, evil laughter. Jake was done. He had no escape. The Queen, still composed, turned her head just slightly, a pleased smile forming on her lips. "Queen, you are truly fearless." Jake was going to throw himself into a black hole. The attendants began bowing. "Attendant, the gods have spoken." "It is true, then. The Queen has chosen her mate." Jake's entire soul shut down. Zaira, gasping between fits of laughter, wheezed out her final betrayal. "Zyra," mock whisper, "Congratulations, Jake. You're getting married." Jake's entire world went black. Jake sat stiff as a corpse, locked in place on an ornate, oversized cushion while attendants fussed around him. The Queen was beside him, sitting far too close, her soft skin brushing against his arm, her presence radiating regality and something much worse, genuine affection. His brain was still buffering. Jake, internally, how the fuck did this happen? Zaira, the spawn of all evil, sat across from him, smirking like she'd just won the galactic lottery. Jake, internally, "I'm going to kill her." Slowly. Painfully. She winked at him. Jake, internally, "I hope an asteroid lands on her face." The attendants finished adoring him in ceremonial sashes, glistening oils, and alien jewelry that he was 99% sure meant property of the Queen. Jake, internally, "I need a plan. Fast." The Queen turned to him, her golden eyes filled with satisfaction. "Queen, you are so calm. Such poise in the face of fate." Jake's soul was outside of his body, screaming. Zaira took a slow sip of whatever fruity alien cocktail she had stolen from an attendant. "Zyra, mock serious, he's always been like this. Very composed under pressure." Jake shot her a death glare. "Jake, internally you'll pay for this." The Queen rested a hand on his knee. Jake lost the ability to function. "Queen, the ritual will be completed soon. Tonight, under the twin moons, we shall bond." Jake, error. Error. Shutting down. Zaira choked on her drink. "Jake, internally tonight?" Zyra, barely holding in laughter, "Oh wow. That's fast." Jake, internally, "I'm going to build a time machine and strangle myself before I entered this room." An advisor stepped forward, bowing with deep reverence. "Advisor, Your Majesty, as per tradition, your chosen mate must prove himself before the court. Jake snapped back to reality. Jake, oh. Good. Something else to worry about. Queen, nodding yes. Of course. Jake leaned forward slightly. Jake, right, and just to clarify, what exactly does prove himself mean? The advisor smiled. A smile Jake did not trust. Advisor, a test of stamina, of strength, of endurance. Jake, internally, oh God, no. Zyra was visibly shaking, holding back ungodly levels of laughter. Jake, internally, I swear on every planet in the galaxy. Queen, softly, seductively, it is tradition. Jake, internally, I will burn her entire house down. The Queen rose gracefully, offering Jake her hand. Queen, come! Let us begin. Zyra wiped a tear from her eye. Zyra, oh, this is going to be beautiful. Jake, internally, I will never know peace again. They were led into a vast, open chamber, filled with onlookers, diplomats, warriors, nobles, all waiting in anticipation. Jake's stomach plummeted. Jake, internally, this is worse than death. At the center was a massive, circular platform, covered in thick silken sheets, cushions, and, oh no! Candles. There were candles. Jake, internally, why are there candles? Why are there candles? The advisor gestured grandly. Advisor, the trial of union. A test of a male's stamina before he may take the Queen's hand. Jake was experiencing a full mental collapse. Queen, do not worry. You will do well. Jake did not share her confidence. Then, the doors opened. A large, muscular alien stepped in, wearing only a ceremonial loincloth. Jake blinked. Jake, huh? The alien stepped onto the platform. Advisor, the challenger has arrived. Jake whipped around to the Queen. Jake, wait. Wait. I'm not. Zyra completely lost it. Zyra, oh my God. This is so much better than I thought. Jake's world shattered as the advisor continued. Advisor, your Majesty's chosen mate must prove his endurance in combat. Jake, oh thank fuck. Zyra was on the floor, gasping for air. Jake had never felt more relieved in his life. Jake, I can fight. That's fine. I thought I was about to. The Queen turned to him, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Queen, show them your power, my mate. Jake rolled his shoulders, stepping forward. Jake, internally, all right, big guy. You're about to take the L. Zyra wheezed out one last jab. Zyra, honestly, Jake, I was rooting for the other trial. Jake saw red. Jake was done. Physically? Beaten to hell. Emotionally? Scarred for life. Mentally? He had left his body 5 minutes ago. The crowd was still cheering, the Queen looking at him with pure, unfiltered adoration. Zyra? Absolutely useless, collapsed on the floor, dying of laughter. Jake, internally, I hate everything. The massive alien he had just fought, twice his size, built like a tank, with more muscles than sense, was still unconscious. Jake had won. But at what cost? The Queen rose gracefully, stepping toward him, her robes barely clinging to her form. Queen, such strength. Such will. She cupped his face. Jake's soul detached from his body. Queen, you are magnificent. The crowd chanted his name. Zyra was making gagging noises in the background. Jake, internally, this is a nightmare. Queen, softly, tonight, we shall celebrate. Jake, oh. Good. Because this hasn't been enough already. Zyra was still grinning like a demon. Zyra, hope you have stamina left, buddy. Jake didn't even have the energy to glare at her. Cut to later that evening. The royal chamber was massive, exotic, luxurious, but most importantly, full of trouble. Jake sat at the edge of a ridiculously oversized bed, staring at the ceiling. Jake, internally, maybe if I lie really still, I'll turn invisible. The queen entered, her golden robes slipping off her shoulders. Jake forgot how to breathe. Queen, you seem troubled, my mate. Jake, troubled? Me? No. Just, thinking. She stepped closer. Queen, thinking of what? Jake, internally, think fast, idiot. Jake, taxes? The queen paused. Zyra, from outside the chamber, choked on her drink. Queen, taxes? Jake, yeah, intergalactic tariffs are brutal. You know how it is. The queen tilted her head, intrigued. Queen, such wisdom. You consider the weight of ruling even in moments of passion. Jake had never wanted to die more in his life. Jake, yep. That's me. Deep. Full of consideration. She leaned in, brushing her lips against his ear. Queen, then let us discuss such matters, intimately. Jake, error. 404. Brain not found. The doors slammed open. A guard rushed in, bowing deeply. Guard, Your Majesty. Urgent news. Jake had never been so happy to see an interruption in his life. The queen sighed, turning toward the guard. Queen, this had better be important. Guard, a diplomatic envoy has arrived from the Julek Dominion. They demand an immediate audience. Jake had no idea who that was. Queen, annoyed, they choose an unfortunate time. Jake prayed to every god in existence for this to take at least 6 hours. Queen, to Jake, stay. I will return shortly. She left, robes flowing behind her, frustration clear in her stride. The moment the door shut, Zyra crawled in through the side window. Jake, what are you doing? Zyra, rescuing you, obviously. Jake grabbed her shoulders. Jake, you don't understand. I just dodged a bullet. If she comes back and finds me gone. Zyra, relax, dumbass. I have a plan. Jake stared at her. Jake, your plans are the reason I'm in this mess. Zyra, fair. But this one? Foolproof. Jake sighed. Jake, fine. What is it? Zyra, I'm gonna get you out of here using the laundry chute. Jake blinked. Jake, there's a laundry chute? Zyra, yeah, right behind the tapestry. Drop straight into the servant quarters. Jake, that's actually brilliant. Zyra, I know. Now move before she comes back and decides to tie you to the bed. Jake didn't need to be told twice. They slid behind the tapestry. Sure enough, there it was. A wide chute leading straight down. Jake peered into the abyss. Jake, what's at the bottom? Zyra, soft linens. Mostly. Jake, mostly? Zyra, don't think about it. Just go. Jake hesitated. Then footsteps. Approaching fast. Jake, oh shit. He jumped. The fall was fast, chaotic, and deeply undignified. Jake landed hard, rolling onto a pile of something soft. A voice groaned beneath him. Unfortunate servant, I hate my life. Jake scrambled off. Zyra landed right next to him, laughing her ass off. Jake glared. Jake, I swear to everything in the galaxy. Before he could finish, the door to the laundry room burst open. Guards. Jake and Zyra froze. Jake, internally of course. A fucking course. Guard, seize them. Jake and Zyra booked it. They dodged servants, leapt over laundry carts, and knocked over at least 4 very expensive vases. Jake, this is the worst night of my life. Zyra, correction, this is the funniest night of my life. They skidded into a hallway, sprinting toward the nearest exit. Just as they reached it, the Queen stepped into their path. Jake slammed to a halt. The guards caught up, surrounded them. The Queen folded her arms, looking from Jake to Zyra. Then, she smiled. Queen, such spirit, such defiance. Jake braced himself. Queen, you truly are my perfect match. Jake, internally, F-U-C-K. Zyra completely lost it. Queen, guards, escort my maid back to my chambers. Jake, wait. The guards grabbed him, lifting him off his feet. Zyra was wheezing. Zyra, I am never letting you live this down. Jake accepted his fate. Jake, just make sure they don't build a statue of me when I die. Zyra, no promises. The doors closed behind him.